Howdy, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. And sure as hell hope everybody's doing better than I am. Um, crazy, crazy. Might hear the notification. I think I have do have my phone on airplane mode, which is good. And finally, I've done something correct today. And I know it's a last minute thing. It's kind of my calling card. But what I like to do is document things when things are going well or things aren't going well. Hey, Cheesehead, appreciate it. Thank you, Brian, sir. I appreciate it. Hello, Ken, Lone Cowboy Adventures. So today's my life is so screwed up, and I've talked about it, right? And I realize I'm only talking to like two people, and but actually, I should probably take a back seat on this for you know I know I'm in a prime time slot right now. Probably not a real good time to be talking about uh, stuff, but I promise to share my life, and my life is not much of a life. So I appreciate Brian and Ken for popping in, and it's like some of the happenings that have been happening recently, just like it just reaffirms my belief in the curse. Nobody believes in the curse, but damn it, God damn it, I got to live through the curse. I have to live through the freaking curse for whatever reason that I've been dealt, right? And I get so pissed off. I get so pissed off. Every day I wake up at 0400 hours and try and go approach life in a positive manner, knowing I've been like literally dealt a shitty hand. And then I have to go approach it and like I'm supposed to embrace it. And I'm trying to embrace it the best way I can. I drive 35 miles one way through like highly congested area, traffic lights to get out to the boonies. And it cost me $25 a day to perform my duties. That was kind of factored into the previously arranged salary arrangement, and it's now I'm thinking like, man, I kind of probably lowballed myself. But there's Tish, I appreciate you popping in, and so yeah, my life is just I honestly felt the way that most of today went at work. I would say by like 2:30 p.m. I'm like I'm about out of here on 3 days on Easy Street, even though I had to work on my birthday. And hey, Skinner Farms, appreciate you tuning in too. And anyway, so it's like just some weird crap happened today at work. I really want to share. I can probably share some of it, not all of it. Can't give you all the full details, but it's just like, man, it's just like that that yo-yo of life that I have to go through. And like when I talk about yo-yo, I mean we're not talking just like you like it's like and it really sucks. So pretty sure everybody in here knows. Maybe Skinner Farms does not know uh, that I live with my almost 90-year-old mother who has dementia, and she is batshit crazy. Only thing I can say, batshit crazy. The power of attorney lives 2 hours away, and he consistently is sick, or he might be sick. He's had some medical problems, but I've talked about this before. It's going to sound redundant to people. Uh, I'm gonna talk about some of the negatives, and I'm gonna try and hopefully uh, get to the slim positives that I'm trying to make out of this the impromptu video. I'm not looking for happy birthdays. I'm just so pissed off at what happened today that um, I want to just have a general live chit chat. So one of the I'm gonna bounce back and forth because right now there nothing was scripted, last minute thing. I am extremely pissed off. I should have probably checked on my volume level. Uh, I just moved the mic a little bit closer, and hopefully that if anybody's having a hard time hearing me, I do apologize for that. This is a pretty good Yeti microphone, so it probably picked up all my gripes and bitches and moans. But hello, California Ford. Thank you. Anybody's wishing me happy birthday, I appreciate it. And that's going to be a little bit of conversation. Um, this is just me, just my disposition. I truly believe I'm I don't know why. I think my brain is warped. I've talked about this before, but I believe I am on this planet to help others. Even though I can't help myself, I truly believe I'm on this planet to help others. So I've been talking about a concept for a long time, and I haven't been able to fulfill that concept uh, due to problems at the bank. Uh, can like it's not just today, brother. It's every freaking day, and it. I'll get to that, Ken. So, um, one of the things I've been wanting to do for a long time, and the banks were out of this specific type of currency, and I did come across today an unusual way, which does make me happy to a degree. But after I left my employer, some things kind of went south. Not real happy about that. But anyway, I've always talked about G Money and trying to send out $2 bills with a gold hat hook. So um, I was able to procure 5 of those $2 bills, and I just happen to have 5 G Money hat hooks. Actually, I have 4 of the G Money hat hooks, and I'm going to take one off of my own existing hats to send to 5 random people. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that, but G Money, gold hat hooks, it's something I've been working on for a long time. And there's a local guy, um, an old timer, goes around to all the banks and he just buys up all the $2 bills. Everywhere he goes in his travels, he just pays for everything in $2 bills. He's kind of like, I don't know his official nickname, but he's kind of like the $2 bill dude. You know what I mean? So I know I've kind of gone on a rant, and I'm really pissed off. I want to get to the meat of the story. I don't know what I can say. I know what I want to say. Matter of fact, I don't even shit. My life's about to end, like in so many ways. My life is about to end in so many ways, and I can't control it. I can't control it because a piece of paper has controlled my future. A person with a 3-digit title is basically in control of my future, in control of the elderly resident here with dementia. So it really sucks when I know I'm doing everything I can to keep her alive, and I don't have any control of the finances, zero control of the finances, and I I I I can, how can I say this? This is like really like I'm really walking on thin ice because I know this the power of attorney is going to probably see this video at some point in time. Could be today, tomorrow, 6 months from now, whatever. And there's going to be like, you know, some of the other stuff I want to talk about with employment. That's a delicate situation. So what I'm telling you is the power of attorney has been very inconsistent on fulfilling the dates of appointments and stuff like that. I'm not here to bash him. I truly am not here to bash him. Uh, I know he's had some medical problems, and every time there's appointments scheduled, there's always like can't show up because I have a medical problem. So I don't know if that's like a crutch, like stuff like that. But the person who is here medicating my mother like at ridiculous hours of the night or the morning and uh, feeding her pre-cooked meals and stuff like that is the one who has been dealt the hardest hand. And I got to deal with her like ridiculousness every day as far as her dementia and stuff like that. And like there's in the employment world, there's some things that uh, my new employers are very good at, they excel in, and in certain areas they're not really as well versed in with experience. So I'm trying to like gradually introduce them to things that could occur. There was an incident that occurred, actually two incidents that occurred today, and I feel bad. Uh, Really good customer came in yesterday with a coworker, bought two rod and reels. Everything went well. They were so happy. In my experience, did excel and talked to them about things. I gave them different options. So I was able to like close a deal, like with two different people in a truly polite, respectful way. And it's not like I'm like trying to like just get more of their money, but trying to give them the best options available for stuff like that. So I know this sounds boring as hell. I'm trying to get to the meat of the story, but the then a while later, I could talk to you so much about the employment side of it. I really don't want to do that because it could be misconstrued. But I will say this: I will take ownership on this one error. I will take ownership on this one error. Uh, the way the checkout counter is configured and stuff like that. Like sometimes the people are directly in front of you, and the sack bag holding rack, the tea sack rack is to the left. Sometimes when you get talking to people and you're trying to make sure the transaction's going through correctly and stuff like that, and that happens, or you get the dialogue, and with this two individuals that were there, plus I have a new trainee, it did not go as well as I thought. The transaction went through fine. Blah blah blah. They bought a bunch of stuff. His father came in from out of state for a 3-day fishing, excursion. Somehow during all that dialogue, that one bag was left with some of their items like jig heads and ready rigs and stuff like that. So that was left behind. And near the end of the day, when it was time for me to, be relieved and, paid. It was noticed by one of the owners that was like, I was like, oh crap, that just literally, I was having the perfect day with sales and customers and training a new employee. And then I'm like, oh crap, so I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, no problem. They just bought a bridge and that they were going to go right down to the bridge, which is like probably like 150 yards down. So I go down there and we have a really bad storm coming in, and looks like, hey, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Brian. Thank you, Jamie. I'm not really doing a really good job. I'm trying to talk and focus on this crappy day that I've been dealt. Um, so I pretty much screwed that up, but it was kind of like we were all in dialogue. I'm going to take full ownership of that, but it was kind of like we were kind of all chit chatting, cutting up, and I'm going to own that one. Like I kind of forgot to hand them the bag because I was more focused on the transaction processing correctly, and it's kind of a weird configuration. I'm not blaming my employers. I'm just saying it is what it is, and it happened. And then when I realized it malfunctioned, literally like minutes before I was going to be relieved for a 3-day weekend, and I'm like, oh crap, man! Like this can't happen because this father came in for a fishing trip, and then I knew they were supposed to go to the bridge. I go down there. It's like literally black clouds and lightning's coming. I'm thinking I'm going to get killed just trying to walk this stuff. I get down there, they're not there. So I'm realizing like, man, like I'm feeling really, really guilty, really guilty. Like, yeah, I screwed this up, like, but I'm training a new kid. I'm not putting it off on anybody else. I'm owning that. Like, okay, like I put the stuff in the bag. He doesn't have clearance to ring out people, and so that was my mistake. And it's weird because I haven't done that. So I'm like, oh crap. And it was the worst time to do that because the guy had already purchased stuff yesterday. Everything's going on great. And then so now I'm like, oh crap. So I report back to the female owner, the wife of, their co-owners. And I just mentioned that like, hey, he's not down here at the bridge. I'm walking back. I don't know what to tell you. Da, 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 da. So fortunately, it kind of worked out in a good way to an aspect that I know it sounds like I'm rambling. I just got to tell the story as it is, and there's no shortcuts in this story, unfortunately. So she got a really weird call as soon as she entered the bait shop that some guy named Sean was calling her. And when you come in the bait shop, it's really weird because like you can lose cell phone reception to the construction of the building. So she wasn't understanding. The conversation was broken up, and she didn't really comprehend what was going on. But it was a guy named Sean. So come to find out, when the father made this big purchase of about $176 worth of stuff, Sean came in, the son came in afterwards. I know this is, I'm losing viewers. There's an important closing salutation. The son came back in and bought something with a credit card. So it was somewhat documented. It turned out his name was Sean. So talking with the wife of, who's, part owner, we started talking. I said, man, I feel really bad about this. I really don't want to leave until, this guy has his stuff, because his father came in from out of town, I think from Michigan, to go on this fishing trip. So I realize this is like boring as hell, but there's a purpose for this video, and I'm going to tell you here at the end. There's so many different aspects of this video. So eventually, like I come back in, I'm like, he's not there at the bridge, and the bag opened up, and I was worried that I had dropped some stuff out of it because there was like a cardboard, like two-part like tool system, like with like a knife and like a pliers, and which poked the cardboard thing poked all. And I'm like, oh crap! Please tell me I didn't drop anything, transporting back and all this stuff. But there was a problem with a bait bucket. He was sold later, and didn't find out until after hours. I get a text message, and there was some type of problem. But where apparently a lot of his shrimp and whatnot had perished. So I'm thinking like that's kind of weird, because I went through extra measures that 90% of bait shops don't even know how to protect it, like an aerator and how to connect it. I'm training the new guy. I'm trying to make sure all this is like educational to the new kid. And so like something did not go well. So I get a text message later, which is fine that I get this text message, but basically it was like a really nice, polite, educational message saying that like, hey, this is what happened. The aerator was not hooked up correctly, and the it wasn't said the client, but basically the client, the customer, lost all his shrimp. Came back. He did come back to pick up all the stuff that was forgotten, and this is we had to basically we're being told to like just take extra measures to be extra cautious and stuff like that. So I'm thinking like, man, this is like really crazy, because when in that process of selling that bait bucket, I did something like 90% of bait shops would not do. So I was kind of like, I'm really perplexed. So when I received that message, I tried to reach out via phone call and to the person sending the text message, and politely, it's like, hey, maybe I can give you more insight on this or something like that. And I never did get a reply. So I don't know how that was received, or like I'm not coachable, or I don't know. I really, but like I have 15 years of experience with dealing with customers that sometimes screw up. If you leave your aerator running in a bait bucket like this person purchased, and you're in the middle of a torrential downpour, like if you leave it in a truck bed, I'm not saying they did this, but it's a possibility, and you get all this freshwater downpour. I mean, there's a multitude of problems that could have occurred, and it just what I would like to do is, like explain to them, like these are the possible, because they've never owned a bait shop, they've never worked at a bait shop, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way whatsoever, but I'm telling you, like a lot of the things that can happen when you have a bait shop and you're dealing out live shrimp. A lot of people that are not as experienced as I am, and I'm not saying I'm the top dog on the experience level or anything like that, but if I give you a dozen shrimp in a little plastic bucket with a lid on it, and you go down the road and you don't have any aeration type system or oxygen source for the shrimp, they're going to be dead in like 15, 20 minutes. So what happens is a lot of times people will tell you, oh, no problem, I'm going to put them in my live well, or this, that, and the other thing. Well, what happens is people get to talking, they get to conversing, and then they realize, okay, I'm going to go across the street and I'm going to get some gas. They get all this. So they think they know what they're doing, but they really don't know what they're doing, because they go in there and now they're in 7-Eleven, they're filling up their boat or their truck with gas, and they forget, like, yeah, these shrimp are supposed to be on. And then when they get to the beach, which could be 35 or 40 minutes later, because they went to 7-Eleven to get food or snacks or, beer or whatever it is, then all of a sudden they come back to you and say, they try to tell you you sold that, you gave them dead shrimp. Well, that's not reality. So this could be a situation, an accidental situation where this occurred. And I think I could, I'm not saying my answer is 100% correct, but I know there was some specific training things that were on video describing why this method was a very good preventative method to prevent loss of life of shrimp or any type of live bait. So I'm done talking about that. Then I have to come home to, as I told you earlier, everybody knows I have a mother with dementia who is lately, with the current work schedule, she doesn't have an in-home nurse anymore because the power of attorney is supposed to be here, but he's sick, and so it's kind of like up in the air on that. And uh, basically, I'm the person trying to take care of my elderly mother dying of dementia, who is basically loco. If you don't know what loco means, look that up. That's a Spanish term for crazy. And so I try and deal with that as much as I can. And it sucks. It just wears you out. It wears you out. And I was so excited around, like I said, 2:30 or 3 p.m. that I'm like, oh man, this is going to be like a great 3 days off. I can like recoup, and all that. And then all these negative things happened at the end of the day. I was partially responsible. I think there's a misunderstanding on some of the other part. I try to reach out to them to talk about it. It's, I guess I believe in you're innocent until proven guilty. I believe hey, this is what happened. This is what I was told. What do you know about this situation? What do you? So I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. There could have been a problem in the process, and I know what all the problems can occur, accidentally by customers because they're just not knowledgeable like somebody who's experienced working at a bait shop. But so now I come home to a mother with dementia who is hard to deal with, very hard to deal with, and a lot of her food sources are diminished right now because the power of attorney controls all the finances, and she is no longer here. I am on an extremely tight budget, trying just to maintain like my survival with finances. And a couple things happened recently that aren't going too well, and something's about to happen in, I would say August 31st. If that doesn't happen, it's a larger lump sum of money that could really be detrimental to my dreams of the last 14 years. So anyway, the coming back to deal with this dementia crap, on my birthday, my mom, she snacks all day on like Tostitos and just stuff like that. She eats all this crap that she's not, I'm not here to supervise her. The power of attorney is not here to supervise her. There's no longer a paid nurse or whatever you want to call it, CNN, CNA, I forget her other title, HAA or something like that. This lady who was here previously that did a tremendous job. So now she just free to roam and do, take all these crazy phone calls and subscribe to all these things, and you just like this stupid crap that should not be occurring. And I come home to trying to make sure she, her medications in order. Uh, I go through extra measures to make sure she's eating a nutritious meal. The one thing lacking from her meal is a salad. I have to go there tomorrow, take funds out of my own, take money out of my own funds, which is like very limited because the power of attorney is controlling all the credit cards, the stuff like that. So I have to go out and try and uh, sacrifice to keep my mother alive. And then my mother, when I try and feed her a nutritious meal, which has salmon, rice, Brussels sprouts, and stuff like that, she'll only eat like 30% maybe. And like, no, I'm full. I can't eat that. And I get pissed off at her, and we argue about this every night because she snacks all freaking day long when I'm not here, and there's nobody here to supervise her. So all of a sudden, she's eating all this other stuff that's not supposed to be as nutritious for her. And if she doesn't eat it, I get scolded by the power of attorney who's never here. So it's like the dog chasing his tail. I'm trying to do the best I can to keep my mother alive, and she is the biggest. Like literally, you almost want to tie her down to a gurney and just shove crap down her throat to make her eat. It's not got to that point, obviously, and I'm just using that as an expression. But she is just awful to deal with. As I'm preparing meals for her, she'll thank me for how great of a son I am, and but then when I force her, not force her, but like kind of like encourage her to finish the rest of her meal. No, I'm not hungry. I already told you, I'm not eating that. So I had already prepared a small ice cream cone, like one of these little miniature drumstick ice cream cones. It feels like this world has gone full circle between her being a parent and me now having to be the parent, and now I got to be the badass individual. So I said, no problem. I said, when you're done eating all that, I'll have a real nice dessert for you. She likes these little drumstick ice cream cones. And then I see she's eating bread and cheese and butter, and like that's what the French people do. Then I realize I look over and like 2/3 of her nutritious meals pushed aside, like the Brussels sprouts, the salmon, the rice. And so we kind of go like through a discussion. She's like, no, I can't eat that. I'm too full. I'm like, yeah, you're full because you eat all this crap before I get home and you shouldn't eat. You got to eat the nutrition. So oh my God, it's like a never ending argument. Like there is zero rest in my brain. And I promise you that. And I'm trying to document this as much as possible because my brain gets zero rest. So many people think it's just an expression or just a gripe. No, my brain gets zero rest because of this batshit crazy lady and power of attorney, my own personal finances. I'm homeless. All these things. It your brain will never rest. So, uh, so I had portioned out this little ice cream cone, and I felt like, all right, apparently I got to be the asshole here. And I told her, I said, like, you're not getting your dessert because you're not eating your meal. You sit there and eat your meal, and when you eat your meal, you're going to get the dessert. And she started yelling and like being pretty much combative and telling me like almost to F off. She didn't really use that term, but her her uh, her response was pretty much saying that. So I showed her like, all right, here's your dessert. It's going right down the garbage disposal. Turned it on. It's like motherhood and fatherhood coming full circle almost. So like she got pissed off, and then I just got it's just ridiculous what I have to come to home every day, and like I've been wanting to do like certain videos, and like I'm trying to get to a positive note. I have all these cool concepts for videos going forward, and like nobody likes to work on their birthday. No, nobody likes but I thought I handled it well, training a new kid very well, really cool, mature kid, has outstanding potential. and everything's going great in that department. We meshed like bread and butter. Everything was going great till the last part of the day. But then I come home to this nonsense, and all I'm trying to think about is just clearing my brain after I leave work so I can focus on positive things, like literally positive things in YouTube. Come home to positive experiences with this crazy lady with dementia, and none of those things happened because the curse kicked in. The curse kicked in one more time, where about less than an hour before my departure for a 3-day weekend, uh, things happen, and I'm owning part of those. And then the other part, I don't really know what happened there. I can explain that better, but I'm going to wait to hear from them. And then the other stuff, coming home to this crazy nonsense, it wears your ass out. And when I tell you this, I'm not telling you this looking for sympathy, but I am literally like physically and mentally tapped out. I am so exhausted. And I do everything I can to keep her alive. And we kind of had an argument about that. I was like, are you going to do it your way, or do you want to do the doctor's way? I'm here to keep you alive. I'm the only one around here trying to keep you alive. And you want to argue with me? Like I'm trying to, but like her brain has left the station. So I realize when I keep trying to have like a mature, responsible conversation with a person with dementia, you realize like the train has left the station. But sometimes you hope and pray that maybe 1/10 of your message is going to seep through and get in there, and maybe that's going to be comprehensible. But I realize, like, no, it's like she's just batshit crazy. And I'm trying to talk to batshit crazy with a mature adult like behavior, and it sucks. It sucks. So like I mentioned earlier, I didn't really want to mention this. Uh, I actually want to do like somewhat of a positive birthday celebration either tomorrow or Monday. I don't know, but like too much crap happened for me not to share. Hello, Steve and Nick and Rachel, nice kind of people that have tuned in, and Freedom Redbird. I thank you. Obviously, always thank Brian, and it's like I honestly I'm losing motivation for life. I'm losing total motivation for my own life, and when it is when you're every day is a daily struggle just to do the right things for the right people and stuff like that. Like it doesn't, it's not comprehensible to me. Like, why have I been the chosen one to go through all this bullshit? Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't like using those terms, but that's the only way I can convey my message is speaking in my own lingo, my own dialogue to like, that's how I feel. This platform may not approve of my dialogue, but I'm shooting it to you how I feel. And I'm very upset, very upset. On a positive note, this is not why I'm doing this. Like, I'm trying to think of some positives. Like, I was able to, as I mentioned previously, come across some $2 bills. That's important and pertinent to G Money and the gold hat hooks. Uh, just I'm trying to approach tomorrow as a new day. There's so many things I wanted to do in a positive manner, but man, it just sucks this is like 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks in a row. I'm approaching like a 3-day off weekend, and I've been hit with something negative prior to me trying to gain rest and relaxation. So I really don't like that. But I'm trying to help everybody involved in this entire process to understand better the bait and tackle world, the YouTube world, my own personal situation with the dementia world, the power of attorney world, and it is very disheartening. And I don't know how many people really like. I'd say there's a few people in here that follow me, and anybody that knows the power of attorney came stumbling in here. I shouldn't say stumbling. That's probably not an accurate depiction, but came wandering in here, probably 6 weeks ago, saying that I have an eviction date from my mother's household for August 1st. So I remind you, today is July 29th, and I don't know if that still holds. A lot of times he just talks out of his ass and barks and tries to be the top dog and talks about his hammer, big hammer attorney and stuff like that. So like these things, like, I keep thinking like, man, I keep thinking like, if God's out there and going to bless me, the more positive things I can do for people, eventually I'm going to be granted like some saviorship or something like that. Like for example, Cheesehead Media, a really cool dude, a guy named Brian. He's supporting 2 really good military causes, and I'm trying to support to that 2 causes that he's also involved with to the best of my ability. But like by the same token, I'm thinking like, I'm realizing like, okay, if I truly do get like evicted because somebody's on a power kick and could get full could get the entire estate if somebody would self-terminate, that they could benefit them like tremendously. Like, that's why like Cheesehead Media, he's doing a thing called Mission 22, right? So basically, if I am on if the eviction notice goes through because someone's on a POA power kick, and I have to leave. I can't sustain my own well-being. So basically, like I would be I'm not a military member, but basically I would probably join those ranks of self-termination, and that could occur on July 1st. I don't want that to happen. But the reality is, I can't live without money or air conditioning in Florida. I can't even get to the next county with finances. I'm trying to keep my credit above. I'm trying to keep my credit like level. Something just hit me recently, which really pissed me off, that dropped my credit score. And I can't do anything about it because I don't have the money to fight it. But it's probably going to stay there for 7 years. So I've been fighting so hard to increase my credit. I said my credit limit, my credit score is what I meant to say. If I did say credit limit, I meant to say credit score. So it's like every day is a new struggle. Like people have no idea. When I wake up in my world, I have way more freaking problems than most of you even can comprehend. But like I always try and shoot the negative and the positive. The one positive I'm trying to cling on to that could happen, hopefully in the next week or so, could be less. Depends on my quality of content. If I can do some quality shorts or something like that. I am approximately 1,350 views away from 100,000 views on this piss poor platform. I shouldn't say platform, on my channel. I'm not blaming the platform, my content. So I've done pretty well at times on short videos based on my depression right now, and I think I have some really good ones lined up. Hopefully tomorrow I can wake up and be rejuvenated, approach life with a new attitude, and I don't know, just like that lingering stuff with employment, and it's like I have a big bill due by the last day of August that I really don't think I can tackle. That would destroy the hopes and dreams that I've had for 13, 14, 15 years. I've been a legal entity for that period of time. And right now, the way things are looking, it, it, I, I, I'm going to do everything in my powers to make it happen. I don't know how I got to make it happen, but it's over a $500 bill. And it may not sound like a lot to you guys. And when I tell you these things, I'm not trying to ask for PayPal or any of that crap, but I'm just telling you, man, it's like I wish people understood how crappy this entire situation is. And then I got to listen to a crazy ass mom like, no, you need to sleep in the bed, and like, no, I don't need to sleep in the bed. The bed, that's where the power of attorney sleeps. And when he comes to the house, I have to be the secondary citizen. So if I'm going to be the secondary citizen, I'm going to sleep on the floor the entire time. And she's the person that made this happen. He's the person that makes it continuously happen. So yeah, so I'm just as of today, I'm just a 61-year-old dude sleeping on a concrete floor with a little bit of fabric in between, a little bit of rug, and I'm trying to keep some old crazy ass lady alive. So not really a happy birthday to me. I realize people are trying to be here to be supportive. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just so pissed off. I want to share. I've determined a long time ago, like, this is probably not going to end well, but I want to document this journey. When people like are dying of cancer, a lot of times, but people have stage 4 cancer or something like that. You see these documentaries where people document their demise, their exit to life. So I'm just trying to document as much as possible. So it's public to my friends, my YouTube followers, my haters. So I hope people really understand. And right now I am like very, very tapped out, pissed off, emotionally drained. So I'm gonna hopefully come back to you tomorrow. I'm gonna try and find something positive to do. I really wanted to do I truly wanted to do a positive, like a live video, like have a birthday party and eat cake, or blow out a candle that said 16 because it's reverse of 61 or something like that. But no, none of that crap's happened because everything I plan in my life does not fare well. But anyway, I do appreciate the people that really gave up valuable time on a Friday night. I realize there's only like 8 people watching. I've talked for almost 50 minutes, and I know it sounds redundant, the things I talk to you about, but my life existence is very redundant and very jovial. So I'm going to tap out and thank everybody for popping in that has shown any type of interest or concern or anything like that. And I all I can do is say thank you, and I appreciate you guys. I love YouTube. I don't like how this initial journey for my YouTube goals have transpired, but I'm sorry. I realize, man, like it has to change. My channel has to change to reality and documentation, and that's all I can tell you. Peace out, folks. When you get a chance, always try and look out for another human being, and learn, just learn and look around. Do not dismiss other people. Try and help other people when you can. Peace out, folks. Thank you.